Welcome to our 5-minute Bible study today. Today we're in Revelation chapter 7. We just finished looking at the opening of the seals, the 6 seals on the scroll. And what we saw that in these seals was a sort of a panoramic view of history. Jesus was saying to the churches, these are the things that will happen up until I return. There will be war. There will be violence. There will be famine. There will be death. There will be persecution against the church. All of these things will continue until I return and bring the age to a conclusion. So the church gets this kind of long view of how the world will be like as we go about the business of serving Jesus Christ. But after you kind of look at these seals, you may be thinking, well, there's going to be some persecution. How can the church be prepared? And so the next vision, which we find in chapter 7, Jesus talks about the sealing of those who belong to God, the sealing of the 144,000. John says, I looked and there were 4 angels who stood at the 4 corners of the earth. Now, remember the seals, that vision was in heaven. Now we're looking at the earth. So I saw the 4 angels at the 4 corners of the earth. They were holding back the 4 winds of the earth to prevent any wind from blowing on the land or the sea or the trees. And I saw another angel come up from the east, having the seal of the living God. He called out in a loud voice to the 4 angels who had been given power to harm the land and the sea. Do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the forehead of the servants of our God. And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. So what John sees in this vision is that the people of God, those who belong to God, are sealed by His mark. A seal is placed on their forehead. The seal is a mark of ownership, a mark of belonging. These are the people who belong to God. Now, I think this is important because we just saw that throughout the ages of the world, there will be difficulties. There'll be the wars and the violence and the famine, and there'll be persecution. Some will be martyred. But the church needs to know that God has placed His seal upon us. His ownership is on us, and we are safe in His hands. If you're sealed by God, you're safe. Now, it says there were 144,000 who were sealed. What does this mean? A lot has been made of this number over the years. Some church groups have even claimed that it refers to them and their elect. But I think the meaning is really different. Notice it says there are 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. From the tribe of Judah, from the tribe of Reuben, from the tribe of Gad, from the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, from the tribe of Manasseh, from the tribe of Simeon, from the tribe of Levi, from the tribe of Issachar, from the tribe of Zebulun, from the tribe of Benjamin. 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes, 144,000 in all. Now we know that these numbers are symbolic. One thing that tells us is the 12 tribes of Israel. Remember, in New Testament tribes, the 12 New Testament times, that is, the 12 tribes have basically disappeared. They disappeared in the exiles. They're still the remnants, the Jewish people, of course, but the division of the 12 tribes is a thing of history. And also, these 12 tribes listed are not the same as the 12 tribes in the Old Testament. For instance, the tribe of Dan is left out entirely. That's interesting. But also, a tribe of Joseph is named. Did you notice that? The 11th tribe mentioned is the tribe of Joseph. We know that there was never a tribe of Joseph. The 2 sons of Joseph both had what were called half-tribes, the tribe of Manasseh, the tribe of Ephraim. But there was never a tribe of Joseph. So why is a tribe of Joseph mentioned now? Well, we don't know for sure. But one thing we do know is that these are not the literal 12 tribes of Israel. So it's symbolic. Again, the 12 tribes represents the 12, the whole people of Israel. And the fact that 12 tribes, 12,000 from each tribe, 144,000, that number is obviously meant to suggest completion. So this idea of 12 tribes, all multiplied by 1,000, we end up with 144,000. The number is that the people of God will be complete. Even in times of persecution, God will protect. He will watch over. He will preserve his people. The full total of God's people will come in. The 144,000 is the people of God in completion, in totality. Now, the fact that they are sealed is kind of a clue to us, because a little bit later in the book, the enemy of the gospel, the beast, this comes later, he's going to seal his people. But even before the enemy seals his, those who are opposed to God, the Lamb has already sealed those who belong to him. You are sealed with the mark of God. You are part of the 144,000 if you belong to Jesus. If you're one of his mark is on you. He's claimed you for his own. Your number will be complete. He will preserve and protect you until the end of times. The church will always endure. The church will always be triumphant, even when there are times of persecution, even when there are times of martyrdom. Even in those times, the church is sealed by the mark of God. We are preserved, and the church will always endure. There will always be a church. There will always be a people of Jesus Christ. The seal of God is on us. We are protected by his grace. It's always good to know that the church is going to last. There have been those who persecuted the church before. There have been those who tried to drive the church out of existence. Never has worked, and it never will. The church will be preserved. The church will be complete, because the church is marked with the seal of God. John saw this. He said, I saw the people of God marked, and they were complete. Okay, tomorrow we'll look at the second part of this vision in chapter 7, the great multitude. But for now, just remember, if you belong to Jesus, if you're a person of faith, God's seal is on you. God's mark is on you. You belong to him, and you are safe, because the church will always be preserved. Amen and amen. Okay, have a great day today. I'll look forward to seeing you next time as we look at the great multitude at the end of chapter 7, the book of Revelation. See you next time.